The day the wolves came back, the world of Yellowstone seemed to pause, hold its collective breath. It was as if every blade of grass knew, every pine needle knew, and every pebble along the Lamar River knew that something monumental was about to unfold. Small, almost imperceptible sounds suddenly felt amplified. The soft sigh of the wind moving through the vast stands of lodgepole pines sounded less like a whisper and more like a secret being passed from one ancient tree to another. In 1995, after an absence that stretched across 7 long decades, a small, carefully selected group of Canadian gray wolves crossed the invisible border into the park. They moved with a quiet, deliberate grace, their dark forms like living, breathing commas punctuating the vast, snowy sentences of the landscape. Human eyes watched from a distance. Scientists, park rangers, observers. For them, this was not merely a release. It was the culmination of fierce debate, scientific inquiry, and the sense that something vital had been missing. The wolves, unaware of the human drama, simply did what wolves do, sniffing foreign air, laying the first new tracks in generations. In the decades that Yellowstone was a land without wolves, the ecosystem drifted out of balance. The most visible change was in the elk population. Without their primary predator to check numbers, elk herds swelled to staggering sizes. They became complacent, comfortable, profoundly impactful residents of the northern range. For them, life was a continuous feast. They congregated along rivers and open meadows, grazing without fear. This unchecked proliferation slowly starved the landscape. The land changed under relentless appetites. Young willows, young aspens, young cottonwoods, all reduced to stubs. Imagine a forest missing an entire generation. Winters were harshest on saplings. Aspen groves receded. Elders stood without heirs. Woody vegetation faded from riparian zones. That loss cascaded through the food web. Shade vanished, waters warmed, hard on cutthroat trout. Beavers struggled and ponds disappeared. When scientists brought the wolves back, they did not promise a fairy tale. They aimed to restore a critical ecological process, reintroduce the element of fear. Wolves hunted the elk. The first domino. A chain reaction began. Elk remembered what it meant to be prey. Smarter, more vigilant, always on the move. They avoided risky places, canyons, dense willows, sharp bends. Grazing became more dispersed and less intense. Browsing pressure lifted. Inches became feet over the years. Shrubs shot upward. Trunks grew taller and thicker. Birds returned to the northern range. Yellow warbler, song sparrow, Lincoln sparrow. With willows came beavers, and even wolves paused to wonder at the flat tail and sudden dive. They set to work, transforming quick streams into ponds and wetlands. New aquatic habitats became magnets for life. Muskrats, otters, frogs, fish, dragonflies. Willow, aspen, and cottonwood returned to river edges. Roots worked like a living net. Banks stabilized and resisted erosion. Rivers self-corrected. Narrower, deeper, more complex. Cool refuges and spawning grounds reappeared. Dams slowed flows, recharged water tables, trapped sediment, and clarified streams. The story of Yellowstone's wolves is not a simple happily ever after. It is a new, dynamic equilibrium. People are part of this story. Tensions, debates, and legitimate fears for livestock. Wolves do not recognize park boundaries. Occasional depredations were inevitable. So managers tracked packs, compensated losses, and sometimes removed chronic offenders. Solutions required science, communication, and compromise. Wolves are not a silver bullet. Ecosystems are complex and interconnected. Push one part, and ripples travel in ways we cannot fully predict. Wolves simply lived their lives. Daily dramas nudged the system toward resilience and health. The park did not become perfect. It became more alive, more chaotic, more whole. Today the landscape breathes deeper. Past and future carried on a single howl. The wolves did not save Yellowstone in minutes or decades. The process is ongoing. By reweaving a vital thread, we made the picture more beautiful, resilient, and wild.